and Fran. Yeah, my agenda is really starting to look like yours. Right, I know.
I don't know. You don't know different?
You can probably do it. You're gonna have a nice thing. No, there it is.
Okay, at 6 o'clock, I'm going to call the Village of New Glarus Board meeting to order. Please silence all cell phones and refrain from using during the meeting. I look for an approval of the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Public appearances and citizens' comments on items not listed on this agenda. Items will not be acted or debated. I goofed that up. Items will not be debated or acted upon at this meeting, but will refer to the proper staff or committee if action is required. And please keep your comments to 3 minutes. And I think Matthew is the only one here that at some point wants to speak, but we'll get to you when we get to the committee appointments.
Sure, if you want me to do an intro or something. then,
Yeah, we'll do it at that time. Item 4, approval of the consent agenda.
I move to approve the consent agenda with one edit for item A. Second to the last line, it has current pay by $3 starting. And right after $3, add per hour. Starting December 8th.
We were only gonna give him $3 there.
I know. You almost got away with it.
You know, when I was looking at this earlier, I was like, I wonder what Larry's gonna catch.
Thank you, Larry.
Impressive.
Yes, good call.
Okay,
I
any
second.
other additions or corrections? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Wait, was there a second? I'll second. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, again, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Item 5, new business. Consideration discussion wastewater treatment facility planning task order.
Yeah, so you may remember this past November, we approved a contract with Strand, basically to identify future capital project needs at our wastewater treatment plant facility. We haven't really had something like this, at least in recent history. So this is a really great tool for us and for our staff and for the engineers at Strand to all work together and make sure we're addressing those needs. The task order in front of you tonight is kind of the next step in that. And Travis Anderson from Strand is on Zoom, and he is going to just give a quick overview of the task order. So Travis, I'll turn it over to you.
Yeah, sounds good. So, yeah, this is a DNR requirement for the wastewater treatment plant to compile a facility plan that identifies the needs of the wastewater treatment facility moving forward. These are generally done every 20 years, and your past, the previous version was done about 20 years ago. So you're due. And what it does is it looks ahead over the next 20 years, and we forecast the projected increases in the flows that are going to be going down to the wastewater plant. And then we also look at any of the deficiencies at the plant, which are mainly due to age. There's just items that are wearing out and should be, slotted for replacement to just to keep the plant running in a safe manner and to accommodate your increases in flows due to growth. And the process is we'll identify any of the alternatives for different treatment options, take into account any regulatory changes for new rules the DNR might have issued, and then bring back the options to the village for you to select what you feel is most appropriate to move forward with. And then ultimately the board will need to approve the facility plan, and then it will also need to be approved by DNR. And then at that point, that's your roadmap for the next 20 years. You would very likely do an equipment replacement project as a next step after the facility plan to replace that aged equipment so the plant can continue to function. So this is the first step in doing a plant upgrade, getting this facility plan completed, approved by DNR. Then you'd proceed with design of the upgrades and then proceed with construction, which would likely occur probably in the 2028 to 2030 timeframe to accommodate any needs that the plant might have. So I'm happy to answer any questions on the process or next steps here.
What is the cost involved?
Travis, do you want to go over the cost? This was kind of what we voted on back in November, but just maybe an overview, just as a reminder for us.
Are you asking about the potential costs for the upgrades or the costs specific to this task order?
Task order.
So yeah, so what has been completed to date is an overview of the existing facilities, and we had structural, electrical, and mechanical engineers come out and do a condition assessment of what you have. So that is done. The next step, the $40,000 for this task order here, is to do an alternatives analysis and put costs to everything, look at the regulatory requirements, and come up with that 20-year roadmap for the plant. Meet with the village to go over all of the fiscal impacts, the rate impacts, the rate analysis. And then then the facility plan will need to get submitted to the DNR. There will need to be a public hearing involved where the project is presented to the public, and then ultimately incorporate any comments from the village and the DNR and finalize the plan. So that's generally what's involved at this step in the process.
So Travis, at this point, are you able to make a prognostication or prediction overview? Are we in a situation where we need some very costly rehabilitation at that facility, or are we looking good?
You're in pretty good shape, I would say, and I don't anticipate a major rate impact on this because with the timing of any upgrades that would come out of this project, construction would be occurring at the time frame where the loan for the last major plant expansion is going to be paid off. So kind of that loan payment is going to come off the books before the loan payment for any future project before you'd start paying on it. I guess, no, I'm not anticipating anything earth shattering. This is more of preventative maintenance at this point, replacing equipment before it becomes an emergency. Because obviously there's a lot of critical infrastructure there where if it breaks, the sewers are going to back up and they're going to back up into people's basements, and no one wants that. We don't want to go down that road. So replacing these items every 20, 25 years, kind of as they wear out, rather than doing it by emergency, is really the goal of what we're looking at.
Good, thank you.
Thank you. So do we need some kind of motion?
Just a motion to approve the planning task order.
I motion to approve the wastewater treatment facility planning task order.
Second.
Okay. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thanks, Travis.
Thanks, Travis.
Yeah, you're welcome. Have a good night, everyone.
Thank you. Item B, consideration discussion, alcohol beverage license application, Class C liquor and Class B beer for Christie's Restaurant LLC at 1407 Second Street. I You know, I've been sitting on this board a long time and I still don't understand.
Yeah.
So Class C liquor.
So it's Class C wine.
wine,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
That's,
yeah, yeah,
because I knew there was
Class-
no
yeah.
liquor license
yeah,
available.
it's a wine. Yeah.
Okay,
So it'd be wine and beer. Yeah, it's not, I mean, she obviously knows the rules of holding a license. She did it for a long time. There's no quotas on wine or beer, so. Pretty straightforward.
And we
To
love the
approve.
beer, so.
She threw up a little diagram.
Move to approve the alcohol beverage license application, Class C and Class B for Christie's Restaurant LLC at 1407 Second Street.
Second.
okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Consider resolution 2527, appointment of election officials.
So this is a resolution we see every other year. Our election officials serve 2-year terms. Our clerk's office did a really nice job of reaching out to all of our current election workers. And then we also added some new faces this year, which is really exciting because obviously we need to keep that going as some of our current election workers kind of retire from it, if you will. But we have a really good group. We did get party lists from both the Democratic and Republican Party, as we have the last few years. So those are included. Chief inspectors, we have the usual Carol and Dawn. They're fabulous. So it's really pretty standard and good group of people.
I move to approve resolution R 2527.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries. Item D, consideration discussion committee appointments.
Yeah, so a copy of the village committee appointments is included in your packet, and the changes that you're approving tonight or deciding on tonight are highlighted. Those include 2 sections. One is the plan commission, and we have Matt Runkle with us tonight in the gallery. He wrote a letter of interest for that vacant position in plan, and he works in appraisal services. Matt, I'll let you kind of give a brief introduction if you'd like.
Sure, perfect. Yeah, so Matt Runkle, I live at 813 10th Avenue. Being adjacent to the new Matterhorn Heights development, I've been at the last 2 public hearings on that matter, and noticed after the last one that there was a vacancy on the planning commission. And being adjacent to that development, of course, makes me interested in that development specifically. But beyond that, in relation to that too, of course, is my qualification, my ability to bring some knowledge and possible insight to the process and planning in the future, is that I'm a certified general appraiser. I've been in the appraisal industry for 24 years now, mostly doing residential work, but I did do commercial work for about 4.5 years. I haven't literally appraised every property type there is, but pretty close to it, at least one example of it. And just a quick background, I started as the Madison staff appraiser for World Savings in Wachovia back in, like, it's 2001, so it's been 24 years now, December 2001. But so when 2008 hits on my own, after the world blew up, ran my own shop for 7 years. That's when I did a turn. 4.5 years at L.A. Dusterbeck and Associates based in Janesville. Really want to get back to doing residential work. So I left Dusterbeck, relaunched my own business. Just a couple months into that, U.S. Bank had become my biggest clients. And then their Madison staff appraiser vacated that position. They offered me the job, so that's what I've been doing for the last almost 5 years now, serving as U.S. Bank's residential staff appraiser in the Madison market. So I'm glad to answer any questions you have for me, but that's the gist of my background.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Great, thank you, Matt. Yeah, so that will complete our plan commission. We'll no longer have the vacancy, which is great going into the thick of the Matterhorn and everything to come. Also on your committee appointment list is those election workers that you just approved.
Oh,
So,
I noticed the design review committee I'm on, 4 of the 5 terms come up in April of this coming year. Whoa,
yeah, so
I'm the
we,
only one who's a year and 27.
yeah, so we, every April, every time there's a spring election, because we always have village business on the spring election, Roger and I and Amy this year will review these committee appointments, notate which ones are expiring, if you will. We usually reach out to the people that are holding those terms right now, see if they're interested in serving again, and if they're not, then we start the process of finding somebody else. So,
Thank you, Sue,
Yeah.
for doing it.
yeah. Not to fear, Larry.
It'll just be you.
You won't be alone.
Yeah, Larry on his own.
I don't stay alone.
Yeah.
Okay, we need a motion on item D.
I motion to approve committee appointments.
Second.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Item E, consideration, discussion, village reserve funds investment.
Yeah, so there is a memo in your packet, a memo for me, and then also a synopsis from AMG. This is kind of the final CD that we have out there. You may remember we did a ladder system with our CDs when those rates were pretty high a couple of years ago now. This CD is expiring on January 8th of 2026. This is the remaining village reserve balance that we had invested in a CD. So just like the last two times this happened, I reached out to the 3 local banks for their current rates for an 18-month CD, and then also got a synopsis from AMG where the board decided to invest those previous CD closures the last 2 times. So happy to answer any questions.
I see the recommendation is to add it to the village reserve fund, which is run by AMD. Is
So
that correct?
that's where our funds are. The rest of the village reserves funds are currently, yes.
I mean, it says the recommendation is to add.
Right,
Okay,
Yeah.
and we hired
That-
them because we
Right.
didn't want to go through.
right.
Right?
Yeah, I guess I want to notate that
Okay.
that is AMG's recommendation. That is not mine.
Oh.
This is a board decision.
But we hired them, so. we
Correct.
wouldn't have to.
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
Frankly, this is probably a formality, but I'm in, to be as informative and transparent as possible and make sure that we're doing exactly what the board wants to do with these funds. I think it was worth just reviewing and making sure, so.
Well, I would move to recommend putting those funds in the village reserve fund. And following AMC's recommendation.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Item 6, consideration discussion library project update. Amy?
As everybody can see, the tinting is off that east side now, so you can see what the exterior is gonna look like. Inside that section, all of the drywall finishing is done. They're beginning painting and finishing the drywall on the children's side. All exterior doors and windows are now in place and still on time, under budget. And we're looking to do a beam signing with the library board and village board in January, so more on that later.
Sounds nice.
Amy, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, going down to item 10. Consideration discussion, the police department ship coverage.
Yeah, so there is a memo included in your packet on this as well. The Personnel and Finance Committee also discussed this yesterday at their meeting. And Peggy and Sarah were there. So Peggy, I don't know, I'll turn it over to you to kind of give a synopsis of kind of what the committee discussed and take it from there.
Okay, we had a, wouldn't you say, quite lengthy discussion, but a good discussion on this issue. Some of the points that were raised was this has been a 3-year contract where we added those additional hours, and we are short an officer. And the consideration is the reality for New Glarus that we are only a 4-man staff? Are we reaching for pie in the sky if we look at 5 because we haven't gotten one in all those years? And I'll let Jeff speak to those comments too. This had nothing to do with the vitality and responsibility of the department. We're happy with that as well. The other issue we talked about was, is this model of paying these extra hours, after looking it up, it's kind of a rare move for most villages our size, and actually it's not common move. Is this how we want to continue this on if it goes on into perpetuity? If we continue not to have an officer, how do we want to handle this? Is this the way we want to move on? Let's see, what else did we discuss? We were worried about burnout and whether or not we can, if Jeff can handle that. That was a big issue of handling that. Paying for it, is the village able to sustain this model, or are there other options out there? And another concern was, are we establishing a precedent or down the road? If we are short, are we going to continue to, pay overtime in a salaried position? And those were some of the issues we discussed. I don't know, Sarah, you can add to that list. And then we thought we'd table it and have a discussion with all of you to see where you were on this. Not that we wouldn't move in this direction. It was just a time to have this discussion.
And one clarification I will make, this would be for straight time for chief service. Yeah.
That's what I meant.
So we're not paying overtime, it's straight time. Financially, it is in the village's best interest to pay straight time for chief servant than to pay one of our full-time officers overtime, because it will cost more money.
Well, and by law, you cannot pay overtime.
Correct. So yeah,
a salary position.
Yeah. So we don't, it's not overtime. It is straight time hours.
And that might be my
Yes,
mistake.
no, I just wanted to, I think here knew that. I just want to make sure for the record, it's clear that we've done straight time hours, which is what is proposed.
Right.
And Chief does try to have our part-time staff fill in those gaps as much as he can. We just don't have enough of those people to fill all the gaps, I think is probably the easiest way to look at it. So I think that's when these hours get used.
And I think we were coming to this point where we're a crossroad here, where we had to make a discussion or have a discussion, or do we just continue down this, or do we look at other models for this? Are we going in the right direction?
So you said this is an unusual setup for most villages. What do other villages do? They just take the cut in hours?
Well, I used various sources and it's very unusual. Yeah. We have this type of model where they're compensated in other ways. So, and then, you have my concern was if you have a salaried position and you add on extra hours like this, is number one was the precedent set. And number two was the legality of it.
Yeah, so you can't pay overtime.
Right.
Which we're not, straight time. It's really a stipend, if you will.
Mhm.
So legally, we're fine, from all of my understanding. Yeah, I think a lot of our conversation yesterday was really also about just employee health and well-being and not burning somebody
Most of
out.
it was about that.
I mean, I think, and we had a good conversation with Jeff and just about obviously not wanting him to have to constantly work 40 hours plus the additional
Right.
30s.
I think you're right. That's the majority of the discussion was about that.
And how many municipalities, including Madison, are becoming short-staffed
Yeah.
also. So it's not just
Right.
It's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
It's something that, as Jeff said, everyone is experiencing. So it's not just us experiencing this situation. So we thought we'd open it up to the board to see what their thoughts were at this point. Not that we wouldn't go forward, but it's just a good opportunity to have that discussion.
I do worry about burnout too.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
always handle it really well, but
I'm not, because it's not that many hours. I worked a lot more before. What I'm worried about is my current staff burning them out. If you're
Yeah.
gonna burn them overtime and they're
Yeah.
losing, can't take their vacations and losing, then they're just gonna jump ship.
right.
That's my biggest concern as a chief.
Really? Two questions. First, do we have a fifth vehicle that just sits then? Okay. And do you feel there's a safety issue not having five?
No, I want 5. I never said I didn't want.
Oh, I know.
He said
But-
that a safety issue. Not
Because we don't have five currently.
No, it's not a safety. We're good. Right now, where we're struggling is we have an officer out on medical. So right now, I'm trying to fill 320 hours this month. And I'm hoping he's back January 1st. Then we're only filling like 80 hours. You know, it's not, or 160. It's not as bad. It's just right now. And if somebody left right now, we'd really be hurting.
Mhm. Well, and you said, how long has it been since we've been looking? 12 years?
12-ish years. We've gotten close.
We were full at-
We've gotten close twice since I've been here.
Yeah.
Off-field
Yeah.
training. So
Yeah.
we've been there. It's just they weren't off-field training.
Yeah.
You know, and then somebody leaves while somebody's in field training.
Yeah.
You know, we're gonna get there. I mean, I'm hopeful. It's just,
Yeah,
it's just when.
Right.
It's just-
Well, I posed the question to Jeff too. I said, if we had two people in the position, one who needed training that was, would hire after training, and the other one who was, has already been trained, but sort of a class C person, he said he would jump on the class C just to get somebody in. But,
Who we can continue to train.
but we can continue to train. But, I guess it's time to have that discussion,
So when we hire a fifth person, we'll also have to buy a fifth car, right?
No.
No,
they're not all 5 here usually at the same time.
We're on rotating schedules. We try to.
Okay, so
We're
one,
trying to cover
Yeah.
different shifts. We're not just, Monday through Friday.
Okay,
8 to 4 or
gotcha.
whatever.
Okay.
We're here into the evenings and weekends and holidays and festivals.
okay, thank you.
And I think it's also important to note that when we hire that fifth officer, this goes away. Like, this is no more. This is truly because of the shortage. This will not be coming to the board if we are fully staffed,
Right.
and we're running as we should be. So,
And we all realize that the citizens, they want coverage, they
Yeah,
want
yeah.
safety.
I just don't want to cut coverage.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said in that meeting, knock on wood, we haven't had any major issues or, things where people are going to be calling you guys because we're getting a rash of thefts, burglaries, other things. I think we're doing a good job. Yeah.
we are well protected.
So how come we're approving it just till May then? It seems like we just approve it until somebody else is hired.
I truly just followed the cycle that we have followed the last 3 years. It's been about a 6-month.
Okay.
Every 6 months, we kind of review. The board can do whatever they choose to do. I really just kind of use what we approved the past.
So at the-
6 months. sounds-
Well, at the
Yeah.
subcommittee meeting, I proposed that we do a 3-month and have Kelsey do some research and then go from that 3-month where we can talk about what she's discovered and then move on from there. But, it's totally up to the board how they, or myself, I guess, as how we want to best do this. But it would be nice to bring in some data since we are really kind of skating on our own here.
Yeah, and I'm certainly willing to do that. I think the one thing to remember is police departments run very differently and
Sure.
on a number of factors. So I can definitely do that, and the board can kind of assess that as well to make an informed decision.
Yeah.
So
And we can go with the 6 or the 3, but it was just an option.
In my opinion, it seems like this is like a.
This would actually be 5, right? End of May.
yeah, I mean, I
Yeah.
did it December. Yeah,
Yeah.
yes, yeah.
Sort of a no-brainer.
We can do it until the end of June. You can literally choose any date. I literally just plugged a date in there.
And bringing it up was just to talk about.
Yeah,
it.
like-
We're up against doing
Yeah,
this, again, the timeframe.
Yeah, I understand that. I'm just saying, like,
But
I'm sure there's a period where we need to sit down and talk about it, but as of right now, I see.
Oh, yeah, right.
Would just,
But it's good to throw our hat in
Yep.
and
Yep.
kind of start
Sounds
thinking
kinda
about
lucky
where we're
that-
going.
we have the option to do that.
Correct. And I think the
And
other
Jeff doesn't
thought
really
was,
look tired. Doesn't look tired at all.
I think the other thought with the end of May is right before our big festival season really starts.
Oh,
So
sure.
I just kind of thought that maybe that would just be a good time, like the second
No,
meeting
that's
in
great.
May, to like reassess this, because then we get into summer and that's really
I think that's a great.
a
idea.
busy time. So
Yeah.
that was my thought process, but it can really be any date. It doesn't
No,
matter.
but that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Okay.
And that's why we brought it to you. I'm
And
sorry.
I like the May date too, just because we'll know where we're more at. Hopefully nobody's out or anything like that with the summer months. Type of thing, and, yeah. And if we did 3 months, I mean, we're gonna be back here 2 months again,
Yeah.
to talk about it.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna go fast, and I brought it up to Kelsey just because my other one ended at the end of the summer.
so have you got any postings out there for the 5th officer?
It's all on WileyNet, which is the law enforcement. I've Chamber helping me make a post to put on social media. We've got 2 applications, and out of the 2, Nobody has the academy, so if we have to send one to the academy, I have 2 spots reserved, one at MATC and one at Blackhawk. We're on the list, and that would be in August. So then if we hire one, maybe put them to the academy, they'll be done in January of 2027. And then if we have to go to field training for 4 months, the committee would be probably the end of April before they're on their own of 2027. So I'm trying to get somebody to apply that's got the academy. Right.
Right.
Yeah, because I'm not one bit in favor of sending anybody to the academy because you have no guarantees.
That's what
When
we talked
we
about
pay to
yesterday.
put them through the academy,
You've been
then they
working-
come out and they maybe work for a month and bingo, they're gonna.
Right.
One of the few that have go at most places.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so,
When you get
but it's
burned.
an option. I mean,
Yeah, right.
if we have to go down that road, so.
Okay.
Okay. Jesse?
So we just need to motion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you can, just to make sure you approve, or in your motion, say when you want this to end, so it's clear, since there was some discussion of that.
Yeah.
So, motion to approve the 30 additional hours of straight pay for Chief Sturtevant until the end of May 2026.
Per month, correct? 30 hours per month?
Yes,
Okay.
per month.
I second.
Okay, we have a motion and second. Any further discussion?
No.
Thank
Sorry,
you, Jesse.
I'm sorry. I was thinking to myself.
Yeah.
Oh, favor say aye. Opposed, motion carries. Okay. I guess we'll go on to item 13, announcement. The village board will adjourn into closed session pursuant to state statutes 1985 1C, considering employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction, or exercise the responsibility required a closed session and make reconvene to open session pursuant to state statutes 1985 2, wastewater treatment plant operator hiring. So we need a motion to go into closed and a roll call vote.
How much are going to close session?
Okay,
Second? Second.
anybody seconding that?
Jesse? Jesse?
Jesse,
Yes, I'm here.
Do you want
I said,
to close session?
yes.
yes.
Becca?
Yep.
Sarah?
Yes.
Peggy?
Yes.
John?
Yep.
Larry?
Yes.
Roger?
Sure.
All right.
And-
Pass them.
And just for the record, myself, Amy, and then our public works director, Scott, is also joining the closed session if the board is okay with that.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.